to you live. It is Saturday. It's January 18th, 2025. Hope everybody's doing well today. Do me a favor, say hi in the chat. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if the audio is okay. And of course, this is part of the quick market update series on my YouTube channel at Cheds Trading. I teach professional technical analysis, classical charting, Japanese candlestick theory. You'll want to make sure you start by watching the Masterclass technical analysis playlist. That's the place to start. Check out the free version of Trading Wisdom. That's my book that's done really well. I published 3 books. The 4th book is on the way this year. It'll be Trading Journal book. I'm working on that actually this weekend. It's going to be a great project. I'm, of course, Big Cheds from Twitter. Most of you know me from there. And then, of course, Bitcoin Live, where I'm a founding analyst. And for almost 7 years, I've been doing a twice a week full market report. I'll do one tomorrow night. I never skip those. YouTube's for fun, but Bitcoin Live is more important to me, but YouTube's fun. I'm glad you folks are here today. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We'll do a quick Bitcoin. We'll do a quick Ethereum. We'll take some questions, of course. So let me know some good questions in the chat. Something that you think maybe other people would want to know. Something to help create some content. It's been kind of a wild market the last couple days, and so let's try to put a little bit of that into perspective, put a little bit of that into context. I mean, Bitcoin's incredibly strong. We've been talking about, the price movement on the weekly chart, the price above the, rising EMA 8, the uptrend, the daily EMA 200, and really the question of, is it going to hold here at the quote unquote, head and shoulders? And all that good stuff, head, shoulder, knees and toes, great. But really it just boils down to here's a well-defined support level, and the price broke down and recaptured it. I went over it a lot yesterday. I talked a lot about like that 4-hour W. I talked about the spring entry, the lower high break, the throwback to the SMA 200, and all that stuff. So it's been a nice trend, honestly. Bitcoin's allowed you to get long. And what we're doing now is actually pushing back towards, all-time highs. It's a question of, where do we pause and consolidate? Do we throw back to 99.5, 100K? Do we throw back and retest kind of this broken lower high? You can kind of drop to even lower time frames and see, sure, maybe an initial retest of that as well. So we'll see if how much rising demand structure there is. We'll see how aggressive bulls want to be here. But I think it's really interesting what's going on with the market. I want to look at all the different altcoins, or some of the different altcoins, and maybe put some stuff into perspective. I see some great questions here in the chat room. A really smart smart group. So thank you, folks. So obviously Ethereum kind of sucks compared to Bitcoin. The weekly trend is fine, and we've been saying this, price above a rising 200 in the weekly. It's just been really underperforming Bitcoin. We see that with the Ethereum BTC pair. Look at that, all-time, new lows here, not necessarily all-time lows, but new lows. And of course, I've been kind of tracking this. I'm looking for a tweet here somewhere. I promise it's in here somewhere. Here we go. ETH BTC fresh lows. And you can see here, back in January 5th, a lot of people were like, it's bottom. They're calling bottom here. January 5th, right here. Of course, Cheds says, not so much, right? I'm unconvinced. So that just continued lower. It's been weak to Bitcoin. I know that's frustrating a lot of people. And what's interesting, a lot of people have been waiting for quote-unquote alt season. But there's been some really great moves. Now, there's been an interesting reorganization in the market as of last night with Trump coin and all that. And look at Solana, it's just kind of ridiculous. Looks like we are right now making an all-time high. We are, as we speak, we just broke the 2021 high, so that's pretty incredible. So Solana's at 260, 270. Of course, I will tweet this out after the video, but it looks like a lot of funds are going into Solana. And even look at Ray. And I'm, some of you folks who are maybe better fundamental analysts than me, which is pretty much everybody, maybe there's a connection. But it looks like we have a lot of relative strength in both Solana and Ray here. And before that, as of like almost like 24 hours ago, kind of everything was ripping, right? Dogecoin was breaking out. It's given a little bit back. H-bar was breaking out. It's given a little bit back. And so it's interesting to see this realignment. So now Bitcoin's holding strong, and we've got Solana and Raycoin. Even Bonk's doing okay here. A little bit of relative strength from Bonk. But look at this move in Solana. I mean, that is really impressive. Solana has generally outperformed Bitcoin, for the last year or so. And it's been consolidating, frustrating people here, up until these last couple days, dropping below 205, dropping below 180. And then you have the recapture of 180, a little bit of that same type of spring we had with Bitcoin, lower high break. So like if you want to, descending trend, lower high break. So if you want to be long in Solana, like, you had plenty of opportunities to do that. And those who just played that simple technique are doing really well. So let's see what you folks want to talk about. I've just been rambling here for a little minute. Let me just jump into the chat room. I'm going to see what everyone's talking about. So let's go back to the top. What's up, John? Indy, what's up, brother? Matej, Chocolate, Mohammed, Jijuan, Patrick, Paraf. A lot of great names, folks. It's just me hanging out here with you on a Saturday. I don't have a moderator. I'll probably, I can't read all your chat messages. I certainly cannot respond to all of them. So Cheds says, oh, Andrew, what's up, Andrew? Good to see you. Cheds says, will Sol sink when Trump coin gets rugged? Man, I have no idea. I don't know. Right? I don't know what's going on. When's Trump coin gets rugged? I mean, when does that happen? It just started. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to really, I don't know. I think there's so many things you can speculate upon. And what does it do? What value does it do for you? I think you just follow Sol. It's a beautiful trend. If you're looking for maybe an entry and you haven't already entered, maybe you're looking for a drop back into that prior range around 220. We'll see if it happens. We'll see if it pauses here. Flat got a new all-time high. We'll see if it pauses here and does a little bit of consolidation. Let's just wait and see. I don't know that we can really tell. I don't know, Andrew, that we can really. Yeah, there's no really, no. Chocolate says, enjoying a fat coffee. What's up, brother? Hello from Czech Republic. What's up, Lucas? What's up from Switzerland? I want to go to both those places. Czech Republic and Switzerland sound beautiful. Greetings from Serbia. Sounds nice, too. Lucas, I recommend your book. Thank you, Lucas. Trading Wisdom. What's next with Sol? Yeah, pouring, I don't know. What you can do is, a lot of people are asking about Sol. It's priced at a key level, right? A prior all-time high. 2021 highs. You can drop to a lower time frame, like a 4 hour and 1 hour, and see what happens here. We're getting some volume. Maybe it does pause here. Most of the time with this type of a price move off of kind of, range low breakdown and recapture and a push all the way back to the range peak, you don't usually break out right away. What you would normally start to do is have some initial pause and maybe come back and throw back and retest one of these levels. You're going to want to look to buy the dip. I'd probably wait around 220 and just wait and see what happens. I'm not going to chase. I'm definitely not buying here when it's likely to consolidate a little bit. Check out Ray. I got in after you pointed a key level in Bitcoin Live. Yeah, I just looked at Ray, brother. Ray looks unbelievable. I mean, look at that strength. And we've been following Ray on Bitcoin Live. And, I just follow strong charts on Bitcoin Live. You can kind of tell why I do it. Over time, you see the stronger charts usually do quite better. ETH price action sucks. That's what Martwan says. I agree. Mohammed wants Sui and Sol. We talked about Sol. I don't know that I have Sui. Here's Sui. I mean, that's a gorgeous chart. Maybe people want it to do what Sol's doing right now, but there's a nice tightening range, bull trend, rising MA50, all these rising moving averages. The price is grinding higher. I mean, that's a nice looking chart. I have really no concerns. What's up, Indy? Let's see. I talked about Sol. Will BTC dominance continue? I don't know. I mean, most likely that's been the trend. We'll take a little peek at it. I generally don't look at it too much. But also, January 5th, people were saying, Bitcoin dominance is topped off, right? And January 5th, the Bitcoin dominance. Oh, sorry, that was here. Right here. People are like, okay, Bitcoin dominance is over. It's rolling over. And I was like, yeah, I'm not so sure. Right? Because I see this. And I just orient my analysis with the trend, right? I don't try to be smarter than the market. That's never going to happen. I try to stay disciplined. I'm just going to follow the trend. You get a rising MA200. M Gross, how much is Bitcoin Live membership? Well, when you sign up, you get access to the entire team's work. This is the best team in the world that studies crypto. There's like a monthly, quarterly, and yearly option. I'll let you check it out and decide for you if that works. I'm not necessarily going to oversell it, but it's there. And you can see my free reports. Bitcoin Live is the best team in the world, though, that studies crypto. But in any case, look at the MA200. So, for me, I'm not going to jump in and assume this is rolling over. And I think a lot of people want Bitcoin dominance to roll over, and they want Ethereum to start to outperform Bitcoin because they want it to be quote unquote alt season. But I think a lot of people, and I talked about this last video, they're talking their bags. They're kind of talking up what they want to happen, more so what's more likely to happen. And most of the time, trends will tend to continue, right? Price tends to move with the trend. So the question was on Bitcoin dominance. I think will it continue? I think it probably will continue. That's your best bet until proven otherwise. So that would be my thoughts. Sui, chocolate. I just looked at Sui a minute ago. It's grinding higher. I like the chart. It's one of the more bullish charts in the market for sure. Would you short? So, here's a good question from Abhinandan Chalal. Would you short Sol? No. Look, if I want to short something, and I gave you guys a short on Twitter that did really well, like on DOT recently, right? If I want to short something, I want to short a downtrend that just bounced, right? And I gave you guys the short here. If you remember on Twitter, I said, nice bounce into undersized 750. You had a beautiful short on that. And then I basically said down here, maybe take profit. So you did really well just following that. Like, this is what I would short. This is a flat sideways, kind of an underperforming chart. You can step out the weekly and kind of see the underperformance. A bounce in a downtrend, right, into a well-defined resistance, that's a good short setup. Shorting a really strong trend like Sol, well, you might get lucky, but you don't want to fight this trend. You could so easily get blown out. So when I want to short something, right, I want it to be a downtrend that has just bounced. If I want to long something, I want it to be an uptrend that has just dipped, right? So you want to orient yourself, because that's how you're going to, especially if you're a new trader. And if you're here and you're asking me that question, you're probably somewhere in that range. Fix your mentality and short bad charts that have bounced, not strong charts. And I get that. And it's the whole idea where if it's a downtrend and it's dribbling down, you want to try to buy the bottom off of every little bounce, but it will roll over likely and continue. If you want a long, find an uptrend that's dipped. If you want a short, find a downtrend that just bounced, okay? So that would be my thoughts on that, all right? Chris says curve. Yeah, let's take a look at curve. And that was looking pretty spicy, but now we've got another lower high. You've got well-defined support. And what's one of these two things is going to give, right? We've talked a lot about the strength of the curve bounce on the weekly, this momentum, the accumulation, and generally an underperforming chart vis-a-vis the falling SMA or simple or equal weighted 200 moving average. When you have this kind of a bounce out of this range and you clear this peak, you really need to hold it. So honestly, for curve, if it doesn't hold here at 75 cents, it's kind of over for a while. And I think you're really going to step back. It probably will go much lower. So zooming back in, what I talked about is now lower high structure, well-defined support. One of these two things will give. And then you just watch that. Be dispassionate about it. Don't anticipate what's going to happen. Wait and see what the market gives you in terms of information. That's going to be the best way to do it. I mean, you can argue there's still accumulation, yeah, but it needs to hold here, right? Kavinsky says, great wisdom. Thanks, brother. Hey, folks, hit like, hit subscribe. I love doing these videos. I'm going to be about 3 days a week on YouTube, Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday, because I do the Sunday, Wednesday Bitcoin Live report, which is a full report of the whole market. And I kind of like to let that sit, out of respect to members rather than being on Bitcoin. I'm being on, YouTube all day. But you got to check out my channel. I have a lot of great learning material here for you folks. Let's check out a couple more questions in the chat room. We're having fun here, and then we'll wrap it up. These are short updates. Let's see here. So it's a lot of talk about Trump's coin. I just don't know, folks. And honestly, I'm not going to be able to do any TA on that for several months. There is no trend. There's no chart. The whole point with TA is to identify a trend and take advantage of a move against the trend. Again, in an uptrend, you want to take advantage of a dip. In a downtrend, you want to take advantage of a rip, right? A movement against the trend. What if there's no ETH new all-time high this cycle? Sure. What if? Look, crypto's only been around for not that long, even Bitcoin. And I think people just assume it's supposed to do a certain thing. I think you need to not think in terms of that. Like we remember, for example, folks, this last time we broke below the prior all-time high for the first time, right? This is the first time ever. right? We spent the most time under the weekly MA200 in history. So the trend is slowing a little bit and it's changing. So I think we need to move against the idea that it's always done this, so it has to do that. I think you need to be more flexible and not get into a thing in your mind where you just assume it has to be formulaic and it's always going to do this. And, 2 years after the halvening or 1 year after, 1 year before, it always does this. Great. It's done that a couple times before. But I think you have to be more objective and less assuming things will just continue with the way they have been. Ethereum is underperforming Bitcoin. And I honestly think that's likely to continue. And you can just see it there. So let's see. Let's check out a couple more questions. What about Link? Sure. Link, I mean, it had kind of been dribbling down and almost falling off of my watch list. I had wanted to see it hold around 2021, and then I said, okay, I'll call it 19. But it's a nice bounce back into the range. You see the failed breakdown and recovery, and kind of a W here, and the price testing the peak of a W. So if you're not in there, you can most definitely take a long on that 25 break. We'll do one more question. Hey, Cheds, I realized to time a top is a fool's game. Do you ever use classical charting to identify target levels? Yes, and that's a pretty good question. So, for example, if you have some type of a range, and in classical charting, you generally can take the height of a consolidation. So, let's say if it does like a bull rectangle, okay, you can take the height of the rectangle and you can extend it out, right? The peak of the range from the breakout point, and that's fine. But philosophically, for me, I'm against targets are fine, but my issue with them is when people are convinced of a target, oh, it's supposed to go here or it should go here. What's going to happen is you're going to dull your senses and you're probably going to ignore some information that may come along in the interim, right? So, for example, if here's your range, and you think it's supposed to go here, but if you get some real price weakness in the middle of the move, you got to pay attention to that. And so it's really, you just have to pay attention to the price targets, and predictions are generally useless. And I think you really just have to, as I like to say, stay nose to the price, really close to it, nose, ear to the ground, really staying disciplined to the trend, and that's going to serve you quite well. Bitcoin, clearly we know the most important level on the daily chart. We have a range low breakdown and recapture, the long leg doji. I walked through that in great detail on yesterday's YouTube video. Talk about the 4HW with the lower low, talk about the lower high break 96K, talking about my tweets. One of them was interesting. I talked about this. People misunderstand volume, right? This is a tweet from January 13th. When I pointed out this doji and someone said, no volume, no party. But so many people get sidelined and they miss huge moves, continuation moves with the trend, because they don't understand that when the price is already trending, you don't need volume to continue, right? If it's an uptrend, you have an imbalance of supply and demand. You have more buyers than sellers. You don't need volume to continue with the trend. So folks like this, and I called them out just, as an educational point, just get caught off guard and they stay on the sideline because, there's no volume, because they're taught wrong about how to use volume. Of course, I teach you the right way, Masterclass technical analysis tutorials. I literally made the point that you go ahead and watch that. So that's going to be critical. By the way, folks, I see a scammer going around in the replies. I'm not on Telegram. I'm not on Discord. That's not me. Please don't get caught by that. I'm just here on Bitcoin Live and YouTube. That's where you can find me. And what was that last tweet I wanted to talk about that I thought was interesting? Yeah, so there's a big one. It's like people are like, Cheds, how do you do it? You're a genius. I'm like, not really. It's an uptrend, right? How was I bullish here when everyone else is giving up? Well, because it's price and support in an uptrend. You have to stay disciplined. I will be the last bull until the trend rolls over. And when it rolls over, I will tell you. So you have to stay disciplined. You should follow the trend and not get caught off guard, folks. So I talked about Ethereum. So Jay's asking Ethereum USD. I've covered it. Folks, if you missed, I talked about Solana, Sui. I talked about a bunch of stuff. Go back and watch this video. I'm about to end it. So I already talked about Ethereum, okay? This is part of the quick market update series. I hope you enjoy your time here. Hit like, hit subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, how you found the channel, what you like, what you don't like. Soak up this content. I teach professional technical analysis, classical charting, and Japanese candlestick theory. And I published 3 books. I have a 4th book along the way, Trading Journal. I'm working on it. It's shaping up quite nicely. But most of what I do is free. You find me, of course, on Twitter at Big Cheds. I do a twice a week full market report with the best team in the world that studies crypto on Bitcoin Live. Feel free to check that out. I've got some free reports floating around so you can kind of see, what that's all about. By the way, check out this cool video on my pinned tweet on YouTube. The, Cointelegraph did a little video. Check that out. But folks, thank you for hanging out here with me today. This is fun. I'm going to be back with another YouTube on Tuesday, and we will go from there, folks. Be well. Have an awesome time. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And Cheds loves you. All right, we'll talk soon. Big Cheds out.